This is the highest rank I have ever finished on. Hello guys and welcome back to another FPL video. Today I have for you my season review for the 2022-2023 season. I have finished on a banger, as you can already guess by the title and the hook that I introduced you on. I finished on my highest rank ever. This is a very good achievement. My goal from the beginning of the season was to go higher than last season and I've done that, so I'm very happy. I've prepared for you my statistics for the season and some key points that happened during the season, and at the end I've prepared team of the season for me, or team of the year, or whatever you like to name it, where I'm showing which players brought the most points for me. I had some pretty good one picks for several weeks, but I will show you the most consistent players. Before jumping into it, if you did enjoy my journey and want to follow me to next season, where I will try to improve and will try to improve in order to help you, please subscribe to the channel, give it a like to the video because it will help my channel much. And let's go and see my final game week 38 points and then the statistics. This is the team that got me to the highest rank ever. I've made 2 transfers this game week. I've introduced Pedro Porro and Harry Kane in order to gain some rank. I got the insight that Haaland will not be starting and he did not play at all, so swapping him for Kane was the easiest decision ever. And Luke Shaw, I knew he was in the squad, but I knew that he is not starting. And with Dunk not starting and Bueno being against Arsenal, I thought that I will lose a lot of points and thought who will bring me the most points from defense. And I thought of Pedro Porro because he's playing basically as a right winger for Spurs, and he delivered. Oh yeah, he delivered. We'll go through the team one by one. Johnston, 3 points. He lost the clean sheet, but a save point. Finally got the keeper right from the 2 choices I had. I was thinking of swapping him for someone else, but I thought all of the teams will score goals this gaming, and I don't think there is a goalkeeper that can get 4 more points from Johnston, so I just quickly dismissed it. Then Trent, he made an assist. Liverpool conceded 4 goals, but they were without Van Dijk and Alisson, so I can understand that. But he got a bonus point even though they conceded 4, which is pretty amazing, and I believe he will be as nailed as it gets for next season in my team, but we'll get to that when the prices come up. And yeah, this is a review, and let's focus on the previous season, and we'll speak for the next in future videos. Trippier scored a no goal and he got 0 points after the last game week when he was on my bench. Here 0, so yeah, nothing to complain about though, because he was pretty consistent and he got me a lot of points, as you see later. As already explained, Pedro Porro, he scored a goal, he made an assist. What can you want more from a defender? The only thing is not to concede a goal, but I was always expecting Spurs to concede because Leeds were fighting for their spot in the Premier League. They lost it, but yeah, Pedro Porro delivered. McAllister, 2 points, nothing too special in the loss against Aston Villa, just as Rashford. Rashford was playing as a striker against Fulham, but he didn't score or didn't assist. Mahrez, he was the worst of the bunch 3 I was thinking about, being Foden, Alvarez or Mahrez. I thought Mahrez was nailed. I thought he was on penalties, but no penalties, no goals, no assists, nothing from Mahrez. Only 7 points in 3 games, which is too bad. Here 2 points. Mitoma, he was on the bench. Yeah, what can you do? I was deliberating between Isaac and Mitoma. I went for Mitoma because he is a midfielder and he tends to get points for clean sheet and for 1 more for goals. So yeah, I opted for Mitoma. And Salah, he provided an assist, which is okay, 5 points. I wasn't expecting a lot. And up front, Wilson came on as a sub, 1 pointer only with 1-1 draw against Chelsea. And Harry Kane, he scored 2 goals and provided an assist, and he was the star of this team, just like Pedro Porro. Here 32 points from the captain. Thank God I made those 2 transfers. Overall, I was like over 30 points above the initial points that I was going to be on, which would have left me a lot lower in the rankings. But with those 2 transfers, I finally got it. Fabianski 1 point, Isaac 2, and the other guys Bueno played, by the way, but he conceded 5, so he is on 0. So basically 3 defenders on 0. I couldn't have done any better there. Maybe Mituma or Wilson for Isaac, but yeah, that was a coin flip, and I'm not too worried about the 1 point that I lost here. And that's it, guys. That was the last team that I introduced to the FPL for the 2022-23 season. Let's see some statistics from the season. They are pretty interesting. Here are some of the most interesting statistics from last seasons. I am on a 45,137th place, which is pretty amazing. I was outside of the 60k before the start of the weekend with those transfers that I already discussed. This is a pretty good rank that I finished on. I am 20 points off 10k, so I have around maybe a decision to go for Estupinan instead of Dunk, which was the thing that got me away of the points, but maybe I wouldn't have gotten for Poro to go for show, so I could have lost points there. But yeah, 20 points away from top 10k. Top 10k was the highest goal that I was hoping to reach, but it's a goal for next season. No, the goal for next season is to improve step by step. I'm not trying to be as the other managers going as high as possible. I want a steady improvement because some content creators get a very high rank and then they just fell off and go to the mid table that I'm already in. So yeah, I want steady rank gains over and over again so I can know why I'm there and not rely on luck. My best game week was in game week 9 where I got the H3105th in the world, which was pretty amazing from around 12 million people in a game week where a lot of players are just banking their teams for the game week. This was a pretty good rank, and I even got more points on the bench from some positions, and especially in goal. In goal was my least good position this season. But yeah, I'll try to improve it on next season. The most captain player in my team was Haaland, 25 times. Haaland was just the GOAT, man. He scored 36 goals in 35 games, which is pretty good statistic. And I captained him for 25 of those. He got pretty good scores. I was captaining him in some differential game weeks, which was pretty strange. And when I was captain him in some game weeks where he was very high on, he didn't deliver. But yeah, overall, very good points coming back from Haaland. He was the MVP of the season, in my opinion. The most used player, though, in my team was Trippier. I started with him, but then I sold him. I don't know why. Yeah, I know why, because there were several difficult fixtures for Newcastle, but their defense just got better, and I was just trying to get him back. He had two cameos on my bench. One game week he was not playing, and the next one is the 37 game week where I lost a lot of points from him. But yeah, overall I didn't own him for 5 game weeks, which is one game week where he no, it counts. So yeah, 5 game weeks when I didn't own him, and I lost several points there. But yeah, it is what it is. Best differential points, I got Doherty. He was 0.3% owned when I picked him, which was amazing, and he got 14 points for me. Next close is Pedro Porro this game week when he is again 0.3, but he lost the clean sheet, so yeah, 13 points from him. They were almost tight. Another shout out goes to Callum Wilson, game week 36, when I captained him in his double game week, and he boosted my rank a lot. But yeah, Doherty was the star because he was missing some games. It was a game just before he was sold, and in what game he delivered against Crystal Palace for Spurs, I was very delighted with him. Overall, this season I've taken 5 hits, which is okay. I lost 20 points there, which is the points that are of the top 10k. So if I can try to prepare my squad better for future game weeks, I can gain those 20 points just not by taking hits for it. I don't like to take hits, but with this season's having so much doubles, it was necessary in my opinion because I was preparing my team for different situations all the time. But yeah, for now, yeah, 5 hits is okay. I didn't mean to take the last game week because I didn't think that it will pay off, but thank God it paid off because Shaw was just not playing and it didn't need to risk him, Ten Hag. So yeah, I thought that Pedro Porro will deliver, and he delivered. My personal league, which is down in the comment section, you can join for next season. where I want to make either higher in different environment to all the players. I may prepare even some rewards for the winners next season. I hope that I win it again, but I'm first. The second person is nowhere near me. Yeah, he is near me, but he's like 30 points away. So this is pretty far ahead for people who are playing the game. And my highest overall rank in this season was 26,244, which is a pretty good rank, but I didn't maintain it. After it, I went out of the 100k, so yeah, my team was just with so many differentials. It wasn't prepared for such very, very specific scenarios, and I was just relying on luck, basically, my differentials to provide. When you're so high, in order to gain rank, you need to have at least 9 or 10 solid and template players and one or two that are not, so you can rank up step by step. It was around the 21st game week, so I didn't recover for 16 or 17 more game weeks from that, and I didn't reach it again. I didn't go anywhere near it. I was around the 68k for most of the second half of the season, but yeah, finishing on the second highest, 45,137, was pretty amazing and feels so good. And I hope, as already explained, I can improve it. There are several things that I can improve, but I will get to them when I show you my team of the year. Starting from defense and my bench, in goal, Kepa, 46 points, and the next highest is Poe for 27. That means that I'm so bad with goalkeepers. I found, I believe, 6 or 7 or 8 goalkeepers, and the highest I got from a goalkeeper, which is not a pretty rotatable position, is 46. This is awful. This is the department where I got the least points, and which is, I believe, that was the reason I'm not in the top 10k, because I rode the waves of the goalkeepers when they finished getting points. First, it was with Raya, then it was with Pope, then it was with Kepa, then it was with Ward, sorry, then it was again with Raya, then it was for Johnston, and now at the end it's De Gea. I basically lost so many points on goalkeepers, I couldn't get it right anywhere. I missed on all of the points. Like Ward was getting ridiculous points for a relegated team and he was on my bench. Pope was getting enormous points, but he was not in my team. I was with Mesle from Leeds, which is awful when I think back. Kepa got me the most points, as you can see, and I got the most out of him, basically, and I rode the wave almost as good as possible. Then Raya, I missed so many points from him. De Gea, I owned him when he got like 7 points for me. And then this happened with Johnston when he delivered like 15 points in 7 or 8 game weeks, which is terrible. Yeah, I just want to improve my goalkeeper selection for next season. So that 20 points that I missed in the goalkeepers department are basically what cost me. I don't believe anywhere else in the team I could have improved as hard as here, but yeah, goalkeeper department let me down. In defense, Trent, even though he had one of the worst seasons, I owned him for several game weeks. He was not very highly owned, and he got me 63 points, which is the second highest in my team in defense. I owned him like 20, not 20, sorry, 12 or 13 game weeks, and he got me 63 points. I rode the wave as good as possible here on him. I could have kept him against Nottingham in game week 3, but I went for Salah. Trippier, 172 points. He was the best decision ever. Next season, I think he will be expensive as hell, but I may get him even though his price is going to be very high. But yeah, I will have to decide between Trent and Trippier, I believe, but we'll see when the prices come out. And then we get to the next three positions where Gabriel got 54 points for me, which is pretty good, but I could have went for Saliba, who was 0.5 cheaper, and he got even more points in that spell. So yeah, Gabriel was a semi-good decision. White, 37 points. I benched him for so many games where he got so many points, and at the end he delivered only 37 for my team, which is okayish. And Cancelo, who hasn't played for Manchester City in half a year, is the fifth. So yeah, The fifth defender here, I was lacking in it as well. The person that I think got me out of the top 10k as well is Stupinian. But let's not focus on the what could have been. I believe Dunk will score goals and he was more nailed. But Stupinian was just playing game after game after game, and Dunk was benched. And I was like, what? But it is what it is. And the fifth midfielder is Odegaard. I believe he got a very, very high rank for me because I was owning him when he was a differential, but I didn't own him when he was special before the World Cup break. Here, he delivered like double digits numbers in 3 of the 4 game weeks, and I owned Saka and Martinelli in that period. But yeah, I could have went with Odegaard, but it's not such a big decision because he's the fifth midfielder that is getting the rank, and the other midfielders got a lot more points for me. So let's see how they did. The midfield department is where I shined, in my opinion. Here I got pretty good points from several players. First, Martinelli, I didn't own him for the start of the season, which was one of my biggest mistakes. I went with Saka when Martinelli was scoring for fun. Then I went with Martinelli and Saka started scoring. Yeah, I was just chasing Arsenal midfielders the whole season, but in the end I got 117 points from him, which is pretty good. Then Rashford 147. He was the star after the break, World Cup break. He was so good. He was delivering week after week, and I didn't own him for the first 3 game weeks, which was another mistake I made. He was so highly owned and so good. Just like in defense, I didn't own Shaw, which is pretty terrible for me, but it is what it is. But Rashford 147, captain him in one of the game weeks where he had a double up. So yeah, pretty good decision for me. Mituma 79 points. He was my captain on 2 occasions because Brighton had so many double ups. They were going so far in the tournaments and they were playing against teams that are in the finals basically. But yeah, Mituma 79, and I didn't own him for his best spell yet again. But 79 is pretty good for a cheap midfielder like that. I owned more cheap midfielders as Andreas, as McAllister, as March, which got me more and more points, but Mituma was on the fourth place. And Salah, the Egyptian king, he was so very good the whole season when I owned him. I owned him for the start. I kept him in game week 3, where he got nothing against Nottingham when they trashed them very hard. But what can you do? 190 points, captain him on several occasions. He delivered on several occasions. So yeah, pretty good. I got him for his best spells, which is what you expect from a player. And I'm very delighted with how my midfielder went. Odegaard 53 as already explained. Saka was a close one. Foden as well for his good spell. But yeah, those 5 people brought me the most points in midfield. And now the most interesting part, the forward line. And now for the last line of my team, the forward line. Here I had pretty good results in this line. I got so many players right, which is amazing. Special shoutouts to Darwin, where I owned him for his hose. Wilson, once again. Watkins, for whom I missed several of his good game weeks, and that's why he's not in the team. But the top 3 guys here are Tony, 73 points. He could have gotten even more if I had realized earlier how good and consistent he is and how he's providing in many games. But yeah, with his ban, he's off for half of next season and he will be on for the second half. So I won't consider him for next season, at least not until January. But yeah, he was so good. He's not missing penalties. Almost never. He missed one against Pope, which was a pretty good save from Pope. But yeah, Tony, pretty amazing. He's their talisman. He's scoring for fun. He's consistent. He's starting every game week. He's missing some game weeks for suspensions, but other than that, he's so good and he's so consistent. Next up is Harry Kane. He was terrifically good this season. He scored 30 goals, which is pretty amazing. I don't believe that if we were in an era where Haaland was not existent, Harry Kane would have gotten even more goals because he would have gone for the golden boot even more harder, and he was playing in such a bad Spurs side. If he was playing in a better side, he could have competed with Haaland. But yeah, overall 174 points. My captain for several game weeks, my captain for the last game week. He got me a pretty good rank. He was differential for me in so many ways. When nobody owned him, when he started being more and more picked, I didn't transfer him out. I was with Haaland and Kane almost all of the season, and he got so many points for me, which is pretty good. He made ways for Salah when Salah was having double ups, but yeah, Harry Kane, pretty good season. My team of the season player, of course, will be Haaland, but Harry Kane is close second. And Haaland, he was the most captained, as I already explained, 473 points for my team from 2,560. He got 20% of my points. This is amazing. I mean, how can you go without Haaland? I didn't miss almost any of his points when I didn't own him. He was not providing. When I owned him, he provided. So yeah, pretty good from him. I'm very delighted that I went with him from the start of the season. I was deciding between him and Kane, but I went with Haaland because he was such a machine against Liverpool in the Carabao, and I thought that goals were coming. And oh boy, they came. 36 goals, a goal record. He made player of the season, young player of the season, golden boot. He only didn't get the golden goal, but if he was participating in that, he may have won it as well. Yeah, I am so delighted that Haaland is in the Premier League, not as a Liverpool fan, but as a football fan, where he can destroy even more records next season. And yeah, you may bet on it. I will own him unless he's like 16 million. I will own him. That wraps up my team of the year and my review of this season. I hope you had a good ride. Share down in the comment section your thoughts about this season, your ranks, your best players, your worst decisions. Let's discuss them down below. But that will be for now, guys. I'll meet you very soon with another video. But for now, guys, I'll be heading out. Bye!